Well, Vinted have announced that their UK and USA sites will now connect seamlessly with both sets of buyers and sellers able to trade between themselves. Is it a recipe for disaster or a stroke of genius? Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. It's Monday night, 8 o'clock. That means there's only one place to be, right here, where you are now. Well done for being here. Well done for making it. It's just me tonight, though. Belle is doing something else tonight. She's busy. And she's also going to be busy next Monday as well. So you're stuck with me next week as well. So sorry about that. Just the way it is. Sometimes shit happens and stuff gets in the way. So you'll have to just make do with me. But we do have a big topic to talk about. We're going to go deep on it. The Vinted UK USA connection that is, I think it's pretty much live now, isn't it? Albeit it may not be available for everyone straight away. We're going to go deep on that in a bit. But in the meantime, let's just have a little bit. I've got something in my mouth. Let's just have a little bit of a catch up. What's that? I've got half my food down my face. For fuck's sake. What's that? Bloody hell. No one told me, did they? Is it gone? Doing what my mum used to do. Disgusting. Anyway, yeah, we'll see who's in the chat in a sec. I'm very chilled today. I'm just sitting back. I put the mic right up close and I'm just chilling out. Got I've got my dressing gown down here because it's bloody freezing. So yeah, I'm just chilling tonight. Got my brew ready to keep warm. Yeah. So yeah, I hope everyone's good. Q4 is in full swing. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're making lots of sales. I'm pretty much on the verge of failing this week's sales. Not really failing, but I've been, for the last, must be 6 or 7 weeks, my weekly payout has been over £1,000. So it's been going well. It's been really consistent, over 1,000, over 1,000, over 1,000. Sometimes quite a bit over 1,000, but over 1,000. But this week, I think I'm on about 830 quid, and I've only got, a couple of hours left to go before the payout kicks in. I don't think I'm going to make it. I think this week's going to be a failure. Unless any of you guys want to hop onto my eBay store and go and spend 100 quid or so, which I don't think you're going to do. I know you'd like to if you could, but it's not going to happen. Anyway, now we've waffled. We've had enough time for people to join. I'm going to say hello to as many people in the chat as possible. So get your hellos in. And it's going to start any second. Get your hellos in. I'm going to say hello to as many people as possible. When the music ends, it's all over. Karen Evans, first in. Rosie Marsden, Jeff Davis, Helen, Resell for Rescue, Paul Baker, Brummy Time Lord, come on down. Tap Peddler Derek, Deborah Sardine, Speedfoot Flips, Flipperly, Fluffy the Muffin, Angel Delight, Deadline, and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Oliver Ian, Oliverian as people like to call him. Emsden UK, another video out this weekend, wasn't there? Jamie D, when we put it on yesterday. I got the shock of my life with yesterday's gas bill. Unbelievable. Who else we got? Shark Laura Shark, left-handed, Class03, hello to you. Lin, Rachel Fantastic. We've got Frey Andy Bentos, Limelight Vinty, Lisa, Chris Tyler, last week's duck race winner, Kevin Hawthorne all the way from Florida, Paul Hillman, Deborah Sardine. Oh, you broke your finger, no way. Oh, sorry to hear that. George's Treasure Shed. Am I repeating myself now? I think I am, aren't I? Adventure Hog. Great to hear your thoughts on Vinted. Coming up. Peter Ray. Nothing Major. Married to Reselling. We're talking about the Vinted thing today on today's video, I think it was. Made some good points on there. Oh, have I run out of time? That's it. Alan Buzzer. I think I got everybody anyway. There we go. I think I just about did it in time there before the music ended. Trugman's popped in as well. Yeah, get well soon to Deborah Sardine. Sorry to hear that you hurt your finger. Oh dear, a broken finger. What a nightmare. You've had a mare there, haven't you? You've had an absolute nightmare. Who else we got in the chat? Some other people just popped in. No, it's Trugman was the last new one. Yeah, so Vinted made this. I mean, we're not going to talk about it now, but Vinted did the whole clothing fiasco, didn't they? Luckily, didn't affect me, touch wood, because I don't do ladies' clothing on Vinted, so it didn't affect me. But big fiasco with that, and then they followed it up by announcing UK USA connection, and we'll get to that in a bit. I think while we're really doors, and before we forget, I'm just going to flash up a big thank you to our members. Thank you to all our VIP members going across the bottom of the screen now. Amy, Demise, Karen, Rosie, Bebo, David, Coiny Coins, Mark, Hartwell, Andy, Net, just saying first names, Reddy, Laura, Money. Yeah, thank you everybody. Really appreciate your extra support. If you do want to join us on the VIP, you get access to our Discord. It's not a guru Discord. We all help each other out where we can. But it's definitely not a I know everything Discord. Come and join me and buy my course and all that stuff. It's just about supporting the channel and coming and joining a really, really, really nice community of people. We've got about 55 members in our VIP membership. So thank you everybody for supporting the membership. Who else have we got popping in? I'll leave that going across the screen for a bit. Frey Andy says, I think the sizing was brought in to match international sizing ready for USA. Yeah, I think we touched on that last week, didn't we? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was to do with that rather than them saying, oh, yeah, we recognise that we've got the UK sizing wasn't very good. It wasn't very clear. I don't think it was that. I think it was all about matching it up as best as possible with the US. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, women's sizing on Vinted now matches massive brands like Adidas and Nike, etc. Yeah. Let's see who else we got popped in. Emsden says still on crutches, but a vast sum of chocolate I'm consuming is making me feel much better. Chocolate and sausages, there's a combo. Have you tried that, Marie? Have you tried drizzling some melted dark chocolate on a sausage, put it in the fridge or freezer to freeze the chocolate, give it that chocolate crunch. What do you reckon? I think you should try that in your next Breaking Free with Paul and Marie video. And please give the credit to Car Boot Chris for the idea. Rockstar Sparkle US. Welcome. It's not US, is it? It's Rockstar Sparklers. Because we always thought they were from the US, but they're not. Oh, yeah. Lisa says the sizes are still all wrong. They don't match what it should be for the UK. It's just a big shit show, isn't it? With that sizing thing. I mean, what a nightmare. Everyone's going to spend hours going through all the sizing, and then it still won't be right, which is going to be a nightmare. Pitco, welcome. Rachel's no food talk. I'm suffering with food poisoning. Oh my God. Sorry to hear that, Rachel. There's nothing worse than food poisoning. It makes you so poorly, so sick. It wasn't one of the boot sale burgers, was it, when you were selling at weekend? Do you know, have you got an idea what it was? When we get something like that, we all try and figure out who the offending party was, don't we? Even though we don't really know for sure. Deb says, I broke my finger whilst packing up my van. Then the van wouldn't start, a broken starter motor. Oh, what? You had an absolute mare. You've had a mare there, haven't you? Des Lynham says, I've been missing for a couple of months, been busy setting up Vinted, and today I've been added to eBay. Yes, I've been added to the eBay chat GPT today as well, Des. I already pay for it, so now I've got two. I'm just debating whether to cancel my paid for one, but then I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. After 12 months, there's probably going to be a charge for the eBay AI one. And also, I don't really want to lose all my current chats that I've got with ChatG. You know, I've got a lot of important ones that I'm constantly using. I don't really want to have to export those to the free one. And then after 12 months, I've got to then either pay for that or cancel and come back. It's messy. The ideal situation was that I never paid for it in the start, and I could have just upgraded to the free one for a bit and got 12 months for free. So I'm just in a bit of a dilemma at the minute. Should I cancel my paid version and just use eBay, or should I just have both going along? I don't really know what I'd need both for. I could give Belle access to the free one, couldn't I? I already said that to her today, actually. She might use the free bit. Class says, I've always put other than put size in title and description. What does that mean, Class? I'm not sure if I'm reading it right. Just clarify for us. I started eBay to get away from shit shows. Oh, chicken at the harvester. Oh no. Oh, that'll put you. You're never gonna want that chicken ever again, are you? It's horrible. I hate it. Food poisoning is the worst. Wonder how many returns people are gonna get from America. We'll get to that in a bit, Trugman. Hold that thought. We'll talk about it in a bit. We're just waffling whatever we want to waffle about for a bit, and then we're gonna talk about the Vinted stuff. Yeah, get better soon. Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. My business, Rockstar Sparkle, was in the US. I just haven't set up for my Sparkle 550 boutique reselling. It's been You've lost me. You've lost me there, Rockstar. I'm not sure. So you were in the US and now you're in the UK, and you just haven't changed the name. Is that the gist of it? So did you move from the US to the UK, like physically, or I don't know. I know I'll lose all the ladder jokes. It'll be an absolute disaster. We'll have to start all over again. Des Lynham says, keep the AI separate, Chris. This is crucial on ChatGPT. What do you mean it's crucial? Red wine helps. Probably won't help Rachel much. That will come straight back up. It'll be like red puke. Oh, sorry, Rachel. If that sends you the wrong way, get your bucket ready. Get a bucket at the side. That's mean, isn't it? I think I'll continue to pay for mine. I use it a lot, so I definitely don't mind. I don't really mind. I think I'm the same, Derek. I mean, nobody really likes to pay for things, but I'm kind of invested in it now. You know, I've got so many different chats going on that I use on a regular basis, like creator chats. I've got the duck race chat. I've got my eBay fees chat. And all I have to do is drop something in and it will do what I've taught it to do now. So it's like I don't need to really talk to it anymore. I just drop in a file and it does it, or drop in a number or a question. So I've kind of like, they know that though, don't they, as well? Like ChatGPT must know that once people get invested in their software, it's going to be hard not to like use it. And that's when it becomes embedded in our lives and everything, when it comes to super AI, and we're all doomed. Wow, I'm in a good mood tonight. Just ask ChatGPT to write you a prompt to be able to do anything. Yeah, I could do, but it doesn't always work. Doesn't always work like that. I've got some pretty complicated prompts that I'm using at the moment. I don't really want to. I can't be asked with that. And then in 12 months, eBay say, right, everybody, you've had it for 12 months. That's your lot. It's now £30 a month if you want to keep it. And then I'll be invested in that. I'll have got rid of the £20 a month and I'll be invested in eBay's £30 a month. I'm only like, I'm not saying it's £30 a month, by the way, eBay. I'm just saying that you've only said it's free for 12 months. So for me, that's saying after 12 months, there's going to be a charge or there's going to be something. So I don't want to get invested in that, even though I'll have it for 12 months for free. Well, it's 11 months now because we've already lost a month. And then I have to pay for it, you know? I might as well just keep what I got. It's organized. It's working. It's a system that works. So that's what I'm thinking. I might change my mind if I decide that I don't want to spend the money. On my Vinted, said Lisa, it has medium UK 12 to 14, then no 14 to 16. It says, oh, what an absolute mare. Everything's a mare tonight, isn't it? What a pain in the backside that is. What is that? It's George Ellison is adding stuff to his Vinted. George's Treasure Shed, will you stop listing on Vinted when you're supposed to be watching this show? Concentrate, lad. Laura says, I think you need separate ones. The eBay one seems very tailored to eBay, if that makes sense. It struggled with me asking for help with Vinted listings. Oh, that's cheeky, isn't it? Let me take that banner off. It is. It's been on for a while now. Thank you to all our VIP members. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if it is like very focused on eBay. Ask someone, go in and ask it like something that it might not want to answer, like maybe with some competitors like Vinted or whatnot or something like that. Ask it which is best, either eBay Live or whatnot, and see if it'll give you an honest answer. Rachel's got bucket ready. Married to reselling. We're going to pass on the eBay chat. GPT, we've had it. We have it anyway, and it knows as well. Don't want to change all that, and don't want it having anything to do with eBay. They'll make us add item specifics to it. Yeah, it was. I wondered, eBay could be spying on us. eBay could have this is just speculation and rumor and hearsay. This is not necessarily truth. I'm just speaking what I've heard. I wonder if ChatGPT and eBay have a cheeky little deal where they pass information. Oh, look at all these people talking about eBay. I don't know. It's only a theory. It's probably bull. Stranger things have happened. Totally off topic. Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry. George Treasure said, totally off topic. But how good would it be to be able to add? Oh, yeah. Tell me about it, George. They don't add new things, though, other than things that are a pain in the ass to us. Albeit the USA UK thing might not be as bad as what we think. Yeah, they don't cater for multi listings. I mean, it'd be amazing to have a multi listing. They're definitely going to wait and want to make some money back eBay, aren't they? When the 12 months is up. George, will you stop listing on Vinted? I've had it up to here with your listings tonight. Why has everyone started talking about the new promoted when it's been here nearly 5 months already? It's been here ages, hasn't it? I know Nick. I've not watched Nick's video, but I saw the you know when you're scrolling and it gives you that like 10-15 second clip. I know he looked pretty mad on that, but this it's not new. This is it. I mean, we've been dealing with it for months, and also the USA have only just got it, so it's very relevant for them. People in the USA are going absolutely nuts about it. But yeah, the whole thing is an absolute fiasco, isn't it? I can't think that eBay are really making any more money with this announcement on the promoted listings because so many people have changed the way they promote now based on it. So for me, they've shot themselves in the foot because I was promoting at 10% capped, trending capped 10%, which basically meant it was always 10%. So I was basically giving them an extra 10%. But now they don't get any promoted off me for the first 30 days. Then they get 2 months worth of promoted at 4.1%. And then it turns off again when I relist. So they're definitely 100% getting quite a bit less money off me on promoteds now. When I've been seeing my fees coming in each week, my promoted listings is down quite a lot on cost. So they've lost money from me, and I can only imagine that from a lot of people they're losing money. Yeah, that's a good one. Ask it what the best platform to sell on is. Yeah, good idea. Test it on a video. Have both open in Windows and ask it the same questions. Good idea, that. If I could be bothered doing it. Laura Shark said, I asked chat, it said eBay Live is best, but you can consider Whatnot as a test channel. Really? It demoted Whatnot to have been a test channel. Wow, it's definitely got eBay bias, hasn't it? Let's do it now. I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it now. What was that question that Married to Reselling said? Can I speak to the eBay one? Or does it have to be just typed? Where's my account? eBay AI Activate. Can I speak to this one? I wonder if he's got a different voice.
Hi, glad to meet you. I think we're going to do great work together. Where should we start?
Because you're eBay AI Activate, have you got an affiliation with eBay so that your answers are going to be slightly more biased towards eBay? That was a good question. I've not even heard it. Already, I'm not impressed. Voice couldn't connect. Brilliant. This has got a good start to it. Hey, can you hear me?
Absolutely. I can hear you loud and clear. Let me know what's on your mind.
Okay, so because I'm using you as eBay AI Activate, have you got a slight bias towards eBay when you're answering questions, or are you completely unbiased?
That's a great question. So here's how it works. When you ask me something specifically related to eBay AI Activate or something that clearly involves internal info, I'll use the internal tools and might be a bit more tailored to that context. But if you're asking me general stuff, like just anything out in the world, I'm not going to have any particular bias toward eBay. I'm just here to give you a balanced answer.
Are you sure?
I am sure. So feel free to ask me whatever you need. I'll do my best to be helpful and fair, no matter the topic.
Which is the best live selling platform, eBay Live or Whatnot?
All right, let's dive into that. Comparing eBay Live and Whatnot. Both eBay Live and Whatnot have been making waves in the live selling space, but they do have some differences. One, eBay Live, since it's part of the broader eBay ecosystem, eBay Live has a huge built-in audience of buyers. If you're already an eBay seller, it can be a natural extension, letting you tap into your existing listings and reputation. Features, it's designed to integrate smoothly with eBay's marketplace, so you can list products live and interact with bidders in real time. Whatnot's kind of the new kid on the block, but has gained a lot of traction, especially for niche collectibles, vintage items, and enthusiast communities. It's super interactive and has a kind of social, community-driven vibe. It's built from the ground up for live selling, so the experience can feel a bit more tailored if you're focusing heavily on live auctions as your main gig. Overall thoughts? If you're already in the eBay universe and want to leverage that audience, eBay Live might be a comfortable fit. If you're more into a dedicated niche live selling community or starting fresh with collectibles, Whatnot could be a lot of fun. I hope that gives you a balance for you.
You said that Whatnot's a new kid on the block, but they've been around a lot longer than eBay Live.
You're absolutely right. And thanks for catching that. Let me clarify a bit. Setting the record straight, Whatnot's timeline, Whatnot has indeed been around for a few years and established itself pretty firmly in the live selling space, especially for collectibles and niche markets. They've had some time to grow and refine their approach. eBay Live's entry, eBay Live is the newer addition in this scenario, as eBay is more recently getting into the live commerce trend compared to Whatnot. So in that sense, eBay Live is kind of the newer player in the dedicated live selling arena, even though eBay itself is obviously a long established marketplace. Bottom line, Whatnot has been doing live selling a bit longer, while eBay Live is the newer contender in this specific format. Hopefully that clears things up. Thanks for pointing that out.
Now, give me a short and concise answer. What is the best selling platform in the world?
Sure thing. If we're talking in pure scale and global reach, the title of the biggest selling platform in the world generally goes to Amazon. It's got the largest marketplace footprint worldwide and covers pretty much every category you can think of. So in short, Amazon takes that crown.
It sounded like you were really struggling to say that word Amazon there.
You caught me. Sometimes these things just come out with a little extra hesitation, especially when we're chatting in an eBay context. But rest assured, I'm totally fine saying Amazon or any other platform name when we're talking about them. Thanks for keeping it fun.
Last question, a quick answer. Do you think eBay fees are too high?
In a nutshell, it really depends on what you're selling and how you use the platform. Some sellers feel the fees are fair for the reach and services. Others might feel they're a bit steep. So it's a bit subjective, but that's the quick take.
Catch you later.
Absolutely. Catch you later. Feel free to pop back anytime.
Even sounded like an eBay representative rep, didn't it? Like not giving you like, a 100% concise answer. Anyway, I think it was reasonably fair, apart from saying Whatnot was the new kid on the block. Right, let's get back to the chat. Well, I've lost where I'm up to. Yeah, Chris, get your chat G to talk to the eBay chat G, see what happens. Yeah, get them to have a good old chin wag. I might try that. Des Lynham says Pandora's box has been opened with regards to AI and chat GPT. We all need to keep our eyes open. Best to have one foot in and one foot out. Fair comment. Yeah, definitely think you should be aware of it. You should be learning how to use it, but also be a little bit wary of what you do with it. I would say right now, that's what I do. Although I do use it a lot. Splendidly super. I really found that difficult to read that. Do you have many sales going on where you are now? Southwest has only maybe 1 to 2 biggish. Oh, boot sales, you mean? Sorry, boot sales. Not really. We've got 1 or 2 tabletop sales around here, like indoor ones. There's a boot sale about 45 minutes from me in Runcorn, which I'll probably be continuing to do during the winter. So there's not loads, no. Do you know you're only egging me on now, only just upgrading to Pro, so you're on Vinted. Oh, good luck upgrading to Pro, George. Another shit show. Class says I stopped promoted, sales are still good. That's good to hear. Freyandy says, I've almost phased out all my promoted listings, will be completed by 1st of January. It's a good idea as well to phase things. Definitely, when you're dealing with promoted listings, I highly recommend that if you're deciding to reduce or completely finish with promoted listings, don't do it in one foul swoop, because you will see a cliff edge effect. I had it all the time when I was messing with promoted listings. If you do a big drop, you have a cliff edge, no sales, dries up. If you turn it off, cliff edge. So always best to try and do the graph slowly. That's what I did when I changed from my 10% capped. I went to, I've said this a few times now, but I've changed mine from 10% capped on everything all the time to first 30 days no promoted, 0 promoted, to after 30 days goes up to 4.1% promoted, and then it stays like that for 2 months, and then on 3 months I end and sell similar. But when I end and sell similar, I turn off promoted again when it restarts, and it gets another 30 days as a new listing without promoted. And that's how I'm doing it now. But I phased that in over a period of 3 months. Took me 3 months to be completely in that system. Did it very, very slowly, and I definitely think it's worth doing it that way. Paul Hillman doesn't promote. Absolutely. Derek has hit the nail on the head. People don't like to be ripped off, and it is a blatant rip-off. A lot like our gas and electric in the UK. I tried not promoting at all for about 7 days, and but don't, Lisa, that's what I was saying. Don't just turn it off, because it will tank you, 100% tank you. You've got to like phase it out slowly, or do it. You need to make a strategy on it. Don't just turn it off. I guarantee it will tank you if you do that. Exactly what Friendly Bentos says. Married to reselling, promoted listings, I don't know. I think there's too many people who aren't just aware of what goes on in detail. So I think, yeah, possibly, yeah. So a lot of people just don't change things, do they? So I think they'll make more money. There's a lot that hang around on socials or a small group. Yeah, you're probably right there. You're possibly right. Dan says, looks like I was late to the party. eBay seems to be making it more difficult in recent months. In what way, Dan? Where does this eBay AI? Is it only you have to apply for the free access, Queenie? On eBay's announcements, there is a form that you or a button you can press to apply to have it for free. So, yeah, it's a ChatGPT app, but you have to apply for access to it. Demise says, late to the party because Dambo's taken over the TV playing COD. I've just cheeky, innit? Cheeky that. That's naughty, Dambo. I've just got the ChatGPT eBay, but like you, I'm already tied into my original. So that exactly. You're tied in. You put so much effort into building that. I've got hundreds of chats on my first one. I've taught it all about Car Boot Chris and what I'm about, and what I do, what I sell, where I sell it, all my little nuances, the way I want to interact with my chat GPT, the kind of answers I'm looking for. I've taught it all that stuff. And so now eBay have given me this free one. But what I think I might do is I might let Belle just have access to the free one, because then she can keep all her chats separate. Ask him what he thinks about Sarah Connor. That's a good one. You ask it, Jeff. You've probably got it, haven't you? I assume you got Chat GPT. You're definitely the kind of person to have it. What, not the new kid? I don't trust him. Yeah, it's not like my Chat GPT. I trust her 100%. Don't trust this one. eBay Live was at Liverpool Comic Con promoting. Dambo spoke to them and they said they'd help push our application along, supposedly. Yeah. I'm still in the process. I had a note to mention it. I'm on the next rung of the ladder now. I'm on part 2. But the thing is, they sent me a contract to sign. And on the contract, it said that it was to sell cards, trading cards like TCG or whatever, the category CCG, TCG, whatever. I don't really do that. I don't know why they've put that in the contract, because I told them clearly on numerous occasions in my applications. I've done 2 or 3 forms, might even be 4 forms now. Clothing, toys and figures, sportswear and jerseys. I've never once said that I sold freaking Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, and they've put that on my contract, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't sign that. I don't sell that shit. So I've sent it back to him anyway. So that'll be another month before I hear back from that, probably. Yeah, he's making a point, to be fair. Definitely, because I called him out on it. I'm way behind on the chat here. Let me catch up a bit, guys, so then we can start talking about Vinted UK, USA. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the podcast. What do you do, Sakil? Is that how you pronounce your name, Sakil? Sakil? I appreciate it. Boycott all promotions, but do it in a phased manner. Don't just go boom, because Lisa will tell you it don't work. Dan said we sold sunglasses and flip-flops. Oh, someone's off on holiday. Des said promoted fees has killed my business anyway. I'm going to go for a total reset with everything off. I have a meeting with eBay next week. Our event, I have my own AI, which would feel weird doing it all over again. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I don't want to start again with ChatGPT. I just don't. Geordie Resellers popped in. Pitco says, question with everyone using AI for eBay listings now, how will you stand out when all the listings start looking the same and margins get tighter? I don't think they will look the same, to be honest with you, Pitco, because even like before I started using Listing Monster, even if ChatGPT gave me a title, I never just took the title and just put it in without my own additions. And also your item specifics are still going to be different. So unless you're selling the exact same T-shirt as someone else who's also asked ChatGPT or Listing Monster or whoever to list something, and they've given the same answer, it doesn't always give the same answers. It's like today I listed 2 T-shirts the same on Listing Monster, and each not exactly the same brand, essentially the same, but just with a different print on it. But each time gave me a different title format, and it gave me a different set of item specifics, like not exactly the same. So it doesn't always spit out the exactly the same information. But also when like Listing Monster, when it drafts something for me, I nearly always make 1 or 2 changes on it just for personal preference. And sometimes I'll put extra item specifics in, like just like what Polish Pete does. I usually fill up the theme section and features, and I'll put in loads of my own item specifics. And that's something that AI struggles with, is the item specific keywords that are related to an item but not obvious. My mouth's drying up. So that's what all the AI struggle with. Even ChatGPT. Keywords that are related, that most of the time are in our heads as we're listing something. That's what they struggle with. The minute they get those right, that'll be interesting. Well, I still have to add. I don't have to. I want to, because I want to have the best listing possible. So I still add in my own stuff. Does turning all promotions off from January. Yeah, they don't generate exactly the same. Even my own AI, or on an almost the same T-shirt, didn't generate the same listing twice. We smashed it at Liverpool Comic Con, set a new record. Brilliant. That's good, Demise. I'm looking forward to watching the video. I'm losing my voice a bit. Just bear with me. Tea doesn't help, by the way. When you're losing your voice, it kind of makes it worse, but it's moist. Okay. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to, because I haven't got time to organize this week's podcast, I thought, because we're doing a deep dive today on Vinted UK USA, I thought I could reuse the content for my podcast audience later in the week. So I'm probably going to reuse the next section for the podcast. I'm going to put it into the podcast. I'm going to edit it in and use it as this week's podcast. I just do not have enough hours in the day to prep a guest and all the content for it. So I'm going, because we're going to do a deep dive, I'm going to reuse this section. So let's talk about Vinted, the UK USA connection that's been announced. So it's a weird one, isn't it? We're going to go deep on this. I'm going to pick out all your comments from everyone here on YouTube. And if you've got any comments on this, then drop it in, because I've got, I'm just going to bring up my notes. Let me just change that over. There's good points and there's bad points, okay? And there's definitely unanswered points as well. Let's just start off by looking at the good, because we're always quick to jump on the negatives, right? But let's focus on the positives. Well, the biggest positive is that as sellers in the UK, linking up with the USA on Vinted means that we've got a huge audience coming our way, potentially. And similar for the USA, they're going to have access to us in the UK, all our listings and all our stuff that they like. So it's a two-way thing, obviously. But as a seller, I'm a pro seller on Vinted, so it's a good opportunity to start selling into the US. What else? More sourcing opportunities. Well, I'm not sure about that one. Someone mentioned this to me in a message and said, you'll be able to use Vinted to source from the US potentially, but postage is going to kill it, isn't it? Potentially, postage will be expensive because it's international. It's going to bring a bigger niche for collectors, people who buy figures, toys, any kind of niche. I don't know if you can sell coins, but I know Phil's on here and he does coins, and that could open a Vinted to the US market for something, a niche like that. But it could be any niche that where you can sell on Vinted. Just broadens your audience. And also something that ChatGPT said when I was thinking about this today as well. Is it a signal that Vinted are up in the game? I don't know. Is it really a signal that Vinted are up in the game? I'm not sure. It's a signal that they're trying to achieve something bigger, but has it been thought about enough? That I don't know, and I don't really think so. I mean, the stuff that I sell on Vinted is pretty much all sports jerseys. So US sports jerseys, NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL predominantly. So for me, I'm thinking this could be good for me because I do sell quite a lot in the UK sports jerseys. But when eBay's GSP was really at its height and we didn't have all this tariff nonsense, I used to sell quite a lot back to the US. So I'm thinking with this Vinted connection, are my sales of jerseys going to go up even more now that the US have got access to my sports jerseys? I've got about 700 of them on my Vinted page. So it's going up weekly. It goes up almost daily, to be honest with you. If anyone follows my store, you'll be getting notifications every other day that there's new stuff on there. So it could be a good thing for me. The thing that concerns me, and I'll get back to everyone's comments, I can see people commenting. The thing that concerns me with it is the lack of thought. I say that, but the lack of detail and the lack of the conveyance of, like, what would you call it? A roadmap. So the lack of this is how it's going to happen kind of thing. It's very, very vague. If we look at the FAQ, that there is an FAQ on the Vinted website. So basically, when Vinted sent this message out to everybody on your Vinted inbox, it said, hey, you're going to be open to US soon, so welcome. This is going to be great for everybody. You're going to have a whole new audience for your items, or you're going to have a whole new audience to buy stuff from the US. There was a button at the bottom, and I think this was lost on a lot of people. There was a button at the bottom of that message that said something like, click for more information or something like that, right? And it was even lost on me initially. I didn't click it. I just read it and I shut the message down. I went back on it the other day, and there is like an FAQ for lots more information. I'll come back to all your comments in a minute, guys. Just stick with me. Let me get everything out. You know what I'm like. I have to get it all out. So I've made a highlights reel, not physically, but I've made a few points of the highlights of the FAQ about this USA connection. So here's the highlights, and then we'll see if any of this answers any of your queries. The first one is customs and VAT are going to be handled by Vinted for now. Okay? For now. So as a seller selling to the US, we will not have any customs forms to fill out. Okay. Apparently no extra steps than as if we were selling to the UK. No extra steps. Vinted are going to automatically handle the customs declarations. We'll come to the problems with that in a second. Vinted is also going to cover import VAT temporarily, but it does say that that will change later. So at some point in the future, we'll have to pay the VAT coming into the UK. If you buy something from a US seller, you're going to have to eventually pay the VAT. But initially, they're going to cover it. I'm guessing like a bedding in period Vinted are going to cover the imported VAT. So when I read all that, I thought to myself, have Vinted here just created a global shipping program for Vinted, much the same as eBay operate? You send your item, and this is speculation because this is not answered anywhere. We're only going to know the answer to this when one of us gets a sale to the US. Is there a shipping center in the UK that is for Vinted International to the US? And I think the answer to that's going to be yes, because I don't see how else they're going to cover the forms, the customs, and all that malarkey. They can't. They need to physically get it and put a label on the packet or digitally attach it, because you don't always have to have a label on the packet for customs. Depending on what courier you're using, it gets digitally attached. So, are Vinted here creating a GSP for their platform? That's the way it looks like, but we're not going to know until we get a sale, and then we're going to see what address it's going to. If it's going direct to the US, we know everything is going to be digitally marked to that package and that label. If we get some kind of UK address, then it's basically a forwarding address like GSP operates. Here's my problem with that, and we're still only on number one of the key points. Here's my problem with that. eBay has been banging on, and this is not just eBay, this is any platform, any website selling to the US. You have to have your country of origin and your country of manufacture. I think Married to Reselling mentioned this today on their video too. You have to have that information due to all these tariffs and all that malarkey that's going into the US. It must be on there, right? When you list something on Vinted, there is nowhere to put manufactured in, country of origin, none of that. There is nowhere to put that on. So how are they coming up with that information? Are they basing it on labels on the item, packaging on the item? Are they guessing it? If the item is going to end up at a UK shipping center like GSP, are they physically going to examine the item and put the correct, what they think is the origin of it on the customs form? My second problem with that is, if they get it wrong, potentially your item gets stopped at customs and cannot go any further, gets rejected, sent back, destroyed, whatever. It will not reach its destination, basically. So when that happens, who's responsible? Is it us as the seller? Do we lose our item? Do we lose our money? Are Vinted going to have our backs? It doesn't. Whoa, it's not that good. It doesn't say anywhere on the FAQ who's responsible for that, and when the shit hits the fan at customs, who is going to pick up the bill? That's number one, customs and VAT. Number two, it says shipping is fully integrated and tracked. So buyers choose a shipping option at checkout. Sellers get a ready-to-print label like they always do. And shipping time is now estimated at 5 to 8 business days. That's quite quick, isn't it? So 5 to 8 business days makes me think maybe it's not going to a shipping center, because to include a UK shipping center in the 5 to 8 days would be difficult to hit those targets, wouldn't it? I don't know. It's unanswered questions. This is what I'm talking about. The roadmap has not been explained by Vinted. Number 3, weight and value limits. So there are weight and value limits to anything that can be sent to the US and anything that comes from the US to the UK. So UK to US items must be under 2 kilograms. They will not either show or send anything over 2 kilos to the US. Now, that's the only stipulation that's in the FAQ. In the US, from the US to the UK, items must be under £120 in value. I'm assuming that is to do with the import charges stuff, because I think that's the threshold, isn't it, for import charges, 120. Items must be under £120 in value, not including fees, VAT, or shipping. And still also has to be under 2 kilos. So that's US to UK. If you buy something, it's got to be under £120 value and it has to be under 2 kilos. So it's going to kill bundles, basically, isn't it? When you're not, it's going to be difficult unless it's very lightweight and low value for you to buy a big bundle from the US from a seller and have it shipped to the UK. And it's going to be difficult for you to sell a bundle from the UK to the US, because it's not going to take much for a bundle of clothing or whatever to go over 2 kilos. Number 4, and I'll come back to you guys in the chat. Please bear with me and I'll let you just spout afterwards. Number 4 is buyer protection applies internationally. So refunds are still covered for lost items, damaged items, and significantly not as described. It is not covered for doesn't fit. So if someone says the item doesn't fit them, they're not covered. Or doesn't suit, same thing. Return is optional for sellers, but if you say yes, good luck with that on the postage. So yeah, returns are going to be reduced. Something that the FAQ doesn't say, and especially in regards to returns and stuff, is how it affects private sellers and pro sellers. That is not explained whatsoever. So at the moment, a pro seller has to accept returns. And then you've got a 14-day period plus the postage time. That period is obviously going to be longer on an international, but it doesn't say on the FAQ the differences for a private and a pro account when selling to the US. I can't answer that one. It's another thing that's unanswered. Number 5, currency conversion fee. Vinted's payment provider adds a 1.2% fee on the US dollar to Great British pound conversion. So everything that you see that's in the US will be presented in UK pounds. You will not see it in dollars. It will be presented in pounds, and everything that people in America see in the UK will be presented to them in dollars. And buyers pay in their own currency and sellers receive their own currency. The conversion happens behind the scenes. Now, you can bet your bottom dollar that Vinted will make on every conversion. It's only natural. If I was Vinted, if I was running their platform, I would be making a bit on every single conversion. And it's another little money maker for them. Payment provider, which I assume is Mango Pay, they're going to charge 1.2% on top. Number 6, Vinted Balance cannot be used to buy internationally. So if you've built up a balance, you want to buy something from the US, you can't do it. You have to use a card. Same goes the other way. Balances can't be used for international. You've got to have a card or Apple Pay, Google Pay, whatnot. Not whatnot, forget it. Or whatnot, you know, it's a phrase. It's a phrase of turn of phrase. Number 7, buyers will see all costs up front. Let me know if this is boring you guys, because it's kind of boring me, but I've not really seen anyone go deep on this yet. Lots of YouTubers have been talking about it, but I don't think anyone's really gone through the FAQ. So if it's boring, just let me know and I'll tone it down a bit. Number 7, buyers see all costs up front. This includes the shipping, the VAT, the import taxes. So buyers should not get any surprises from customs fees at the door. You shouldn't get any labels slapped on or any cards through the door from Royal Mail saying that you've got customs to pay. You shouldn't get any of that. As long as Vinted do their job correctly, you should just pay your charge, your total fee at checkout, and that should be it. I'm just interested to see what happens when something gets sent that's too heavy, something that gets sent that's too valuable, or someone misses the country of origin. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Here's a biggie. Here's a biggie that's going to annoy a lot of people. You cannot turn off international buyers. Like it or lump it, guys. It says it in the T's and C's. You cannot opt out. You cannot filter out US listings. So when you're browsing, potentially we're going to start seeing US listings, and we might not even know that it's from the US until you see the postage charge. That's what I'm imagining in my head, that you're just going to see stuff the same as you see in the UK in the same search result. That's terrible, isn't it? And you're going to say, oh, I like the look of that. Oh, yeah, that's £20. I want that. And then you're going to try and buy it, and the postage is going to come up as international, and it's going to be expensive. So I'm thinking that the only way you're going to know is the postage. I don't know for sure because I've not seen the layout. It says you cannot filter out US listings. Vinted is rolling this out whether you want it or not. You are having it whether you like it or not. No opt-out. That's probably going to annoy some people. Here's a question for you all. Would you opt out? Would you opt out if you were given the option? I think I would just stick and just see what happens. See how it pans out. Number 9, and we're nearly at the end because there's only 10 points that I picked out that were of relevance. Number 9, prohibited items and legal risk. If you accidentally send something prohibited, customs can seize it. You may not get the item back, and you may not get refunded. It applies to things like perfumes, aerosols, batteries, lighters, and certain electronics, etc. There is a bigger list on the FAQ that you can go and have a look at, but it's kind of things that are quite sensible that you would think, yeah, probably not international, you know? So anything sent prohibited, potentially you're going to lose it and your money probably. Number 10, this is a trial phase. They mention phrases like, to make the launch smoother, Vinted will cover VAT for now. That's the wording they use. And they also use the phrasing gradually rolling out. So not everybody will see US listings at the same time from the word go. Not everybody will get US buyers from the word go. So a bit like eBay do this. They phase things in, don't they? So it's going to be a bit like that, I think. And it also says the wording plan to expand coverage. Not sure 100% in what context that is, but plan to expand coverage. So maybe Vinted have a plan to throw this wider. Maybe it's going to end up Europe wide as well, because Vinted have a big presence in Europe, probably bigger than the US. Started off in Europe. So maybe they've got a plan to expand into other territories. Yeah. I think that covers most of the key points about the international stuff, US, UK. I did have a look at what Vinted are not telling us. They're not telling us about the made in aspect, made in Spain, made in the USA, because that's meant to be mandatory when selling into the US now because of the tariffs. So I don't know how that is going to happen. They don't tell us how pro sellers and private sellers differ. And that's pretty much it. I think I've covered most of it. I've made me notes, and I think I've covered everything. So they keep using the phrase simple shipping because you aren't doing it. Behind the scenes, Vinted is probably filling out customs data automatically based on your listing. That's what I was saying before. If your listing has an error, that could force an error on your customs forms. So that could be interesting. I mean, the official rules, I asked ChatGPT to look this up about having the made in section on your listing for sales to the US. And the law at the moment for imports into the US says under 19 US code 1304, every imported item must be labeled with its country of origin, and that usually means a physical sewn in tag or a customs declaration declaring the country of manufacture. If the info is missing or wrong, here's the key point. If you've not got that information on the declaration form, probably, customs can reject the shipment, destroy it, apply a fine, or return it to sender at your expense. So that's going to be fun. Why isn't Vinted asking us for made in fields? Because Vinted have decided that they will handle it. Vinted aren't asking us to add made in on our listings because they've told us that they're going to handle it. They're going to deal with that. I don't know how, but they're going to deal with it. Unless they're going to put Great Britain as country of origin for everything because it's coming from the UK. That's kind of cheating. That's not what it's meant to be. That will get things stopped left, right, and center. It definitely says in the FAQ there are no extra steps. The customs process is handled for you. If Vinted autofills a country of origin incorrectly and US Customs spots it, which it might not, might just go through, the parcel can be seized, returned, or held indefinitely. And also in Vinted's FAQ, it says, in relation to partly that, if an item is seized by customs, you may not get compensation. So they're not asking us to put in made in or manufactured in. They're going to do it. They have to. They can't send it if they don't. They're going to fill that in. If they get it wrong and it gets seized, they're telling us that it's down to us. So we'll lose it. And I think that covers it, guys. Deep dive. I've been working on that this afternoon. So for me, right, I think even if I had the option to turn it off, I wouldn't. I think my items personally are perfect for the US audience. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. I want to sell something to the US, hopefully something that's not too expensive. Like, I'll just be happy with a £10 jersey sale to the US, and let's see what happens. See if it gets there and see how it's dealt with. And are Vinted using a GSP style shipping center in the UK to do all this work? Or is it all done electronically? Like, when they issue your label, is it going to have all the customs information in the background so that it doesn't need, because now I think DPD, if you send internationally on DPD, you don't have to fill in a customs form as far as I can recall. It all is done electronically, and you just slap a normal label on it, going to the USA. This is going to Jeff in North Carolina. There's no extra form. It's all in built into the label. I don't know. Let's get back to you lot. Let's see what we've got in the chat because it's a very interesting topic. Let's see, where do you go? Where did I get up to? El Reventa, Revinted USA, though, have they been in the US since 2020? Americans I've spoken to have never heard of it. I've not spoken to anybody. I've not really seen anyone on YouTube talking about Vinted in the US. The cost of sending over for the buyer look high, and I think it'll be a while before we get as a sale. You could well be right. We might not sell anything for ages. And Jeff says, yeah, shipping costs across the pond are ridiculous. El Reventa says Vinted would need to establish themselves as big in the US market, with a Macari Poshmark also being there. I agree with George Ross. Being able to sell Vinted to Europe, where Vinted is huge, would have been fantastic. Well, the way I read the FAQs, it sounds like maybe there's a plan to go bigger at some point. Let's see what else we've got in the chat here on YouTube. Yeah, Lisa says, I want to know what happens when something goes wrong. Are we liable? Well, I guess it depends what the thing is that's gone wrong. And if it goes wrong because it's missing the manufacturer location, I would argue that that's down to Vinted. If that goes wrong, I'll be like, well, you've never asked me for it. It's not on the listing, so that's down to you. I would argue the toss on that one. Frendi Bentos here says they've chosen US first as it's a smaller market to currently test in. Going straight into Europe would be too much, as Vinted is much bigger in Europe at the moment. That's a fair point. Yeah, maybe it's a tester. Also, there are similarities. I think Money Mentor was talking about this in my Discord. There are some similarities between the US market and the UK market, and I agree with that. Similar, we like the similar things, and we like to buy from each other historically. We like the US buyers like to buy our vintage stuff and that, and we like to buy Americana stuff. So there is a link there where we speak the same language for the starters. That helps a lot. We'll buy t-shirts, we'll buy hoodies that have got slogans on that are in English. I mean, it's as simple as that, isn't it? Sometimes. Demise Family says, as a pro seller, your items already get hidden. Now you've got thousands more items, you'll even get less views. Possibly. You could be right. Speedfoot says your niche on Vinted will make it good for you. Yeah, possibly. I'm looking forward to seeing if it has any effect. I mean, my niche on Vinted specifically is, like I said, jerseys. So, it's an American market, is much bigger than the UK market. So I'm hoping that it is good. But it also worries me that a lack of detail and a lack of roadmap, I think, is a good word for it. Lisa says, but won't Americans be able to get the jerseys cheaper? Not necessarily, Lisa. No, because we're not just talking about like a 2025 Yankees jersey, which they can get anywhere. We're talking about a 2011 Yankees jersey, a 2015 Yankees jersey, a 1995 Yankees jersey. And it might actually be cheaper to buy it from the UK than some locations in the US. They're very specific. They have different names on the back, different ages. And it might just be that's the one they want. I before all the tariff stuff, I used to sell quite a few jerseys to the US. It's weird. Like the jerseys that I buy, I often buy in bulk. So they start off life in the US, being bought by US consumers. And then they get discarded when they're not wanted anymore. They get handed in at a thrift store like Goodwill in the US. Okay, I don't want it anymore. I'm going to give it to Goodwill. They can make some money out of it. Goodwill either don't manage to sell the jersey, or they ship a load out to a ragman. Maybe they got excess stuff, or someone comes in and buys a shitload, but they end up going to a rag company and get shipped over to Pakistan, where they're in a mountain of clothing. They get bailed up into categories. So all the clothing gets sorted and baled, and they get sold to wholesale companies, wholesale clothing companies across the world, and then get shipped to me in the UK. Silly old me buying these bales and bundles and stuff from wholesale companies, get shipped to me to list on eBay or Vinted in the UK, and then someone buys it from the US. It goes back over there again. So this jersey's gone all the way around the world. It's got the worst ever carbon footprint, let's be honest about it. It's gone everywhere just for this 40 quid jersey. It's nuts, isn't it? It's absolutely nuts. It's a funny old world though, isn't it? Sandra says, if I put anything on Vinted at a higher price because it's worth it, it hardly gets any views. They really want things next to nothing. In some cases, yeah, but I've sold some pretty expensive jerseys on Vinted. I've got one was going out. What's today? What is today? Monday, of course it is. I had a jersey going out this morning for 50 quid, a £50 jersey. I think it was up for 60. They offered me 50, so I took it. I've had £80 jerseys going on Vinted. So if it's really worth it, I still would put it on. Frandy Bentos says, I turned pro on Vinted in January and my year-on-year sales are up 100%. Are you listing more than what you did last year, Frey? That could be an answer. Speedfoot says, I'm not sure I like the part about not being able to opt out. Well, unfortunately, like I said before, like it or lump it, you haven't got a choice. You're going to see those listings and people are going to be able to buy yours, whether you like it or not. Kent said, I'll buy an item for testing if needed. What, you'll like test purchase something from the US? That's a good idea if that's what you mean. Jeff says, Vinted will fill out all the customs forms and VAT documents, but you will pay the fines after they cock it up. 100%, Jeff. That you can absolutely guarantee. I'm telling you now, when those customs forms are done wrong and you've lost your item, Vinted, I don't think, will cover it. I don't think that. They don't cover hardly anything. They're probably sublet from eBay, yeah. They're probably subletting eBay's GSP center. Imagine if it's going to the same place. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Yeah, you'll have to wait ages for your payout. Demise says over a month, wait for your payout too. Yeah, well, UK is 14 days plus the postage time. So that takes it to about 18 days before you get the money. Imagine what it's going to be going to the US. I don't know, but they don't specify that. They don't specify it in the FAQ. They don't tell us how pro sellers and private sellers are going to be dealt with for international. It's not in there. How will we know when it's active? I'm guessing. I think it says from next week. I'm pretty sure from somewhere it said from next week, but I'm guessing we'll get another message to say it's now active. Lisa also says, if Vinted don't give us the option to enter the country, then Vinted should pick up the bill. Yeah, they should. But will they? I don't know. Friendly Bentos has a really good point here about receiving money from Vinted. If you sell regular on Vinted, you will receive money every day. So you only have to wait 14 days when you first start. That is 100% right, yeah. It doesn't really bother me that much anymore because I just have this flow going now. So I make a sale, package it up, send it out, and I forget about it at that point until the money comes back in because that same day and the next day I'll have money from previous packages coming in, and it's just a rolling conveyor belt of money dropping in, money going out, and yeah, it's not really an issue. I don't really find it an issue, but it is going to be a long time to wait for it. But like you say, it is definitely right that once you've done that initial period, everything else is just a daily basis, almost daily, depending on how often you sell. You know, every day or every 2 days, better money comes in every 3 days. Yeah, I don't even monitor it anymore. It just drops in. When it gets to about 100 quid, I draw it out. Oh, thank you, Kent. I'm glad it wasn't too boring. You can just cancel US sales. Easy to cancel any sales on Vinted without issue. Yeah, if you cancel a sale, Ross, you get a 1 star. You automatically get a 1 star depending on what reason you put, a bit like eBay. They don't like you canceling sales without good reason. So if you do cancel a sale, you get a 1 star review. And I think if you cancel too many, it's not good for your account either. So I wouldn't go around canceling sales willy-nilly. There's no point. Why would you cancel a sale? Just let it go through, send it, see what happens. It might be absolutely fine. You know, we're sat here thinking it's going to be a disaster, but what if it's the opposite, guys? What if it's the best thing to ever happen to Vinted? Remember when eBay brought in GSP? I remember a lot of people were like, "Ooh, you know, this ain't good. You know, GSP, what's this all about? It's expensive. It's this, it's that." GSP was a great thing that eBay brought in. And I know not everybody uses it because, yes, it can be a bit more expensive than shipping it yourself, but it's easy peasy. It just means anyone can ship to the US or anywhere in the world without having to go through the hassle of the international shipping process. GSP was a great system that came in for eBay. And if this is going to be similar on Vinted, it could be amazing for everybody. Let's think about the positives for a minute here. Us resellers can be really negative. I can be really negative as well. Don't get me wrong. But let's think of the positives. I definitely wouldn't be cancelling sales, though. Definitely not. Laura Shark says, I just wish they'd really sort out all the constant issues with their site before they introduce something like this. Yeah. It's strange how there's some very simple things on the site which could improve it, especially for pro sellers. Things like being able to search your own store. I want to be able to just search my own store and find an item. You can't do it. Being able to list multi-quantity listings. Very simple. But yeah, they bring in something very complicated and miss out the easy wins. But these things are going to make them money. These are money makers, income generators. So they're going to focus on them, aren't they? Let's get down the chat a little bit more. Kent's up for it. Kent says, let's test it. I'm ready. Ready to go. Here we go. Brett said, wonder if Vinted have a warehouse. That's what I was saying before, Brett. Yeah, we were saying that before. It kind of reads like that. They don't say it, but it reads like that in the FAQ on Vinted, in the for all questions. But I'm not sure. The only way we're going to find out is if they give us more information or we make a sale and we see where it's being posted to. That's how we're going to find out. Kent says, here in the US, all international items are shipped to a hub and eBay handles everything else. Easy money, not one issue. Yeah. It's the same here. The GSP orders all go to a hub in the UK and they get shipped all over the world. The Republic of Des Lynham says the Republic of Ireland's Vinted is linked to France Vinted randomly, so they are currently sharing items listed. So that's a bit of a tester for them, isn't it? Maybe that's a bit of a tester, but at least they are on the same currency. They're all euros, aren't they? So effectively, It's just a bit of extra postage. There's no customs. There's no currency issue. So that's probably a lot easier, isn't it? Let's try and get down the chat a bit. It's called a world market. Yeah. I think you're talking about the jerseys going from the US all around the world back to the UK and then back to the US again. Yeah, make a test purchase and study the process involved. Ross says you can cancel sales on Vinted with no consequences. Agreed with buyer. Yeah, you can do that, Ross. But if you do that option and the buyer sees that you've chose agreed with buyer and they're not happy with it, you've cancelled and you've not even asked them, then they're going to complain to Vinted and you're going to get in trouble. That's what's going to happen. It's a bit like on eBay. If you choose the wrong option and the buyer's not happy about it, that's why I always ask permission on eBay before I use that one. I say, do you mind if I use it? Or can I cancel? And they go, yes. And they say, okay, buyer has to cancel. That's what I select. So yeah, if you're clever about the wording, yes. But if you just do it without being clever about it, you could get yourself in trouble. Let's see, what else have we got? Are we done here? GSP has been great. Anything else? Kent says, I'll pick your highest item. Go for it. Why not? Fuck it. Just try it. Sandra says, I wish you could end an item and then sell similar on Vinted. Ready Steady Retro says, Vinted may roll out a software update the UK and US test market ground beforehand to include country of manufacture, then only display qualifying results to shoppers. Just a thought. Maybe. Could it end up being like the whole women's clothing fiasco? Could it be like that next week we're going to get a message saying that we've now added country of manufacturer? If you want to sell something to the US, you need to edit all your 2,000 listings with a country of manufacturer. That would be horrendous. That would be absolutely horrendous. So I hope that Vinted are just going to take this on and do it themselves. Because that could happen, couldn't it? Tap Peddler says, why don't you get a loyal US subscriber to buy a Vinted item from you, and then once you see what address it goes to, we just cancel it as buyer requested. That's an idea. That's an idea, Derek. So it doesn't go ahead anyway, but we can see it. Okay, I think we've absolutely covered that subject. Vinted UK US connection, the pros, the cons. I'm going to end it on, let's be positive. Let's not cancel sales unless we have to. Let's just try and sell. We are resellers. We're here to sell shit. So if you get a sale from the US, send it, baby. Take the money, send it, and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Your 20 quid item gets stopped at customs. Oh, big wow. It's not the end of the world, is it? It's gone tits up, but who cares? You have to try. If you don't try, you don't get anywhere. So let's be positive. It's going to be great. It's going to be Vinted's answer to GSP. And we're all going to make loads of money selling to the US. And we're also going to be able to buy in from the US. We might see something amazing in the US and think, yeah, I'll have that. As long as it's under 120 quid and less than 2 kilos, have it. Go for it. And there you go. I've just ended the podcast there. I'm going to use that segment, guys, on this week's podcast because I just have run out of time to organize a guest and organize all the work that goes with organizing the actual podcast. So I'm going to use this one for the podcast audience. I hope you don't mind me doing that because I know there'll be a lot of listeners who will enjoy listening to that one. So I'm going to use that for this week's podcast, and we'll see where we go for next week's podcast if I've got time to do one. But yeah, just so busy at the moment. Like, it's Q4. We're absolutely in the midst of Q4, right in the throw of it. And we've got stuff going on personally with Belle, and we'll talk about, nothing to worry about, but talk about it in a few weeks. But she's not going to be on next week either. But then hopefully be back to normal after that. Yeah, so there's so much going on. It's really hard to find the time to fit everything in. And my priority is my reselling business. Secondary priority is YouTube. So yeah, I'm a reseller first and a YouTuber second. Or it will always be like that until I get 100,000 subscribers and I can start going the opposite way then. Which might happen by 2040, and then by that time I'll nearly be dead by then anyway, so never mind. There will be a boot sale video out the weekend though. Happy days. Definitely a boot sale out the weekend. I went to Runcorn Car Boot, saw loads of people who knew Car Boot Chris and said hello. So thank you if you're watching here, guys, and you said hello to me at Runcorn at the weekend. Thank you so much for saying hello. It was an honor to meet everybody. And it's always nice, actually. Sometimes people feel awkward, and sometimes I feel a bit awkward when people, wave at you and say hello. But I still like it because, and I say this on the weekend's boot sale video, I've already recorded it. I still really like it because it spurs me on to carry on making videos. There's many times when I've thought about just quitting YouTube. Is it worth it? Is it earning me enough? Not really. It never is. Is it taking up too much of my time? Could I be earning more just reselling? Yes, is the answer to that. But do I enjoy doing it? I like being on YouTube. I like connecting with you guys. I like having this community. And it does provide a small extra income to the business. But when people say hello and they appreciate the content, they watch it, I really do like that because it spurs me on to carry on. And every time I think about quitting, I think about people that have enjoyed watching the content and said that they do. And that means a lot to me, honest to God, it does. So thank you to everybody who said hello at the weekend. Always say hello to me if I'm there. Let's see what else we've got in the chat before the duck race is coming up, folks. You should upload them all as podcasts. Can't listen at work on the YouTube. That's a good idea. I've thought about going through. I'm going to do it. I might do it for the next series. I might go through some older videos where there's a nice chunk of content. Like today, we've talked for about half an hour or so, might even be longer, about Vinted. So it was a nice topic. I like to have a topic like to talk about. So I have done it in the past. I've utilized old Monday shows, but I might do it for the next series where I pick out some old Monday shows where there's been a really good topic and put it on as a podcast, especially for those that enjoy the audio stuff and might not have watched on a Monday night. It's a good point, Trugman. And I have so much content on the channel. It is good to revisit stuff and reuse content if you can do it in a creative way, and sort of repackage it. You're just repackaging something that you've already spent time making. So yeah, we'll see. El Reventa Ross says, we'll see how it works out, Chris. I do see the opportunity in the Vinted US move if it goes well. I guess the issue is Vinted have a poor track record. Yeah. But then again, eBay make enough mistakes. Yeah. I guess we can't judge them until we get going and until we see how it works. No, Jeff, no, not a chance. Not a chance. Oh, of course. I'm the same. But I always like to wear on the positive, like, let's look at the positives. Let's take the positives until proven otherwise. Let's take the positives out of something instead of always leaning to the negative. I'm the worst for it. But I'm trying to change a bit, and I'm trying to like be more positive, because if you go into something with a positive frame of mind, often things are better and are more positive. It's just that mindset thing, and we all struggle with it. Let's be honest. Flipping Wolf, hi Scott. You done well to get this far. Most of us fall flat on our faces with YouTube. Gotta go, but keep going. Oh, thank you, Scott. You don't fall flat on your face. Nobody really falls flat on your face. You try. People try. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. That's life, isn't it? You know, I've got loads of things especially in my sort of business, like Car Boot Chris Enterprises is what my business is called, and that includes YouTube, all the other social media stuff, my reselling business, and anything else, other enterprise. It may be t-shirt printing, print on demand, whatever else I decide to do, it all comes under the same umbrella. I've had loads of failures, Scott. Loads of things I've tried, loads of things I've thought about doing, and not everything works. But the important thing is that you try, and it doesn't always work. Exactly, Ross. How are we going to win duck races? Oh, of course, Ross. No, I appreciate that. I'm not being argumentative, Ross. Definitely not. No way. I'm just trying to get people to think of the positives until proven otherwise. Innocent until proven guilty, right? Vinted. Innocent until proven guilty. I mean, I know they're guilty of a lot of things, but they've not fucked up the US yet. That's mainly because they might not have properly started it, but we've seen. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You've talked, we've listened. Are you religious, Jeff? I think I might have asked you this before when we met. I think when we met in Florida, I think I did ask you this. I might be wrong here. I might be putting my foot in it. I don't think you're that religious, are you? Are you a religious person? I don't want to put my foot in it in case I remember wrong. I'm not a religious person, but I respect everybody's views, definitely. But I'm just not a religious person. I take a similar view to I like Ricky Gervais's view on religion. I like the way he puts it. It kind of makes a lot of sense. Vinted have already been in court in the EU. Have they, Ross? I don't know. What was that all about? And prosecuted as well. Let's ask ChatGPT what that was all about. I'm going on my normal one. I don't like the bloke. Hey, ChatG.
Hey there. What's up? Let me know what you need and we'll dive right in.
Have Vinted been to court in the EU? And if so, what did they get prosecuted for? She's thinking about it.
Yeah, so Vinted has indeed been in a bit of hot water in the EU. For instance, they got fined a couple million euros for not properly handling user data and kind of shadow banning people. Plus, there's some fresh controversy in France about minors potentially seeing adult content. So they definitely had their share of courtroom drama.
Oh, there you go. Breaking.
You got it. Taking a little breather. Just let me know when you're ready to jump back in.
I didn't say I was taking a breather, but I was going to say breaking the rules, breaking GDPR or whatever it is, data protection. Yeah, there you go. Ross says GDPR issue, 2 million euros. I wonder whatever happened with that issue in the UK where they were displaying people's, when Pro first came in, they were displaying everyone's national insurance numbers and stuff. Well, it was a fiasco, wasn't it? A lot of people, I know a lot of people reported them for that breach of data. I wonder if anything came of that, because surely that's a clear breach of data protection as well. Politics and religion best kept out of public discourse. I don't go to church regularly, but I am a believer. Oh, there you go. There you go. I won't go any further. Like you say, it only brings stuff up, doesn't it? But yeah, I respect all people's views anyway. Right, should we get ready for the duck race, guys? I think I've covered everything I wanted to say today. It was a lot, wasn't it? I had a lot to get into on that. It was hard work pulling that together. So that's why I want to use it again, so I got my money's worth out of it. Have I got any? I've got some cold brew left. Cold tea, but my throat is so dry. Anyway, who's in the duck race? Let's go, because I think you're all bored to death. I think you're all bored to death. You're very quiet tonight. Let me line up the duck race. Let's get it a bit lively. It's been very serious one, hasn't it? Sorry about that. Share the screen. Duck race. Here we go. Only got 42 ducks in. 42 in the race. Good luck, everyone, says Em's Den. Deborah St. Nardine says, I listen and watch in the background. Nice one, Ready, Steady, Retro. Enjoyed the deep dive. Jeff says, at my Masonic lodge, discussions of politics or religion are both forbidden. You a Mason, Jeff? Cheers, George. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Right, let's do this. 2 minutes. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to commentate on this. My voice is going that bad. Let's set that. We'll shuffle those ducks up a bit. We haven't got ducktails on, have we? Let's get ducktails going. Can't start the race without that. Here we go. Yeah. Mason, guys. So, is it true, Jeff, that if a Mason asks you to do something, you have to do it? Is that right? What are the rules of being a Mason? If they ask you for a favour, you have to do it, or something like that. No, Demise family says, I'd love to see you revisit people you've spoken to in the past on podcasts to see where they are now, such as John Luke, who's changed his whole business model. We had John Luke and Charlotte on the podcast, Demise. So we had them on not that long ago. So they were doing amazingly well on Whatnot. I know he's kind of leaning more into Whatnot now. He's kind of scaling down his eBay a bit, but yeah, it's a good idea though. It's a good idea to have people back on again. Hi, Night's Life. Yes, you are well late. You are way too late. Right, here we go anyway. Let's crack on. We'll give them one more shuffle and they're off. The ducks are off. I don't know what number duck race this is, but it's a lot. Titch takes the lead. Ali Evans in second place. Tap Peddler in third. Alkmax. Freyandy Bentos as the Trump duck. Freyandy Bentos with Trump nearly took the lead then, but it's dropped off a bit. Demise family close at the front there. Sandra Parker, Ready, Steady, Retro, and Speedfoot Flips close to the front. Ali Evans is currently in the lead with the Purple Heart duck. Alknax and Ready, Steady, Retro with the Naked duck just take the lead by a beak. It's very, very close. 49 Toddy. Tiny Cloud is coming up with a Naked duck. And Tiny Cloud takes the lead on the duck race now. Towards the back of the pack, we've got Simon Elliott, Dorothy Watkinson, Angel Delight, ANPR, Mark Hill, Jota Counts, all very close. Look at how tight it is, this race. I can barely read the runners or the swimmers. Carboot Keith takes the lead, another naked duck. If you get a naked duck, we all know you've got a very good chance of winning this duck race. Richard Payne is leading with a purple duck. Lisa in second place. Limelight Vinty in third place. It's so close. The pack is very tight at the front. ANPR is in third place. Speedfoot Flitz comes through. Could be taking the lead here. Speedfoot takes the lead. Mark Hill at the bottom there. Tap Peddler is close. Lisa's at the top. Richard Payne's close. It's very tight. We've got 20 seconds on the clock left on the race. Ali Evans in second place. Speedfoot still leading. Richard Payne takes the lead. Richard Payne's going to win this race with 10 seconds to go. He's flying now. Richard Payne's absolutely flying. Hang on to your seats. No! 5 seconds to go. He's dropped out. It's Lin Lin. Lin Lin takes the win. Oh my God. Lin Lin, you have won the race. You've won the duck race. Well done. Send me a message, Lin Lin. Lin Lin's one of our VIP members. So well done to Lin Lin. I nearly choked then up. My throat just seized up completely. Oh, am I coming down with something here or what? My mum's got COVID, by the way, at the minute. Fix It Frida, I don't know if you're watching. I hope you're feeling better today, but my mum has COVID and she was quite bad over the weekend. She looked pretty rotten. She was on holiday in Skegness and she suddenly struck down with COVID. She went really poorly. And my sister had to drive all the way over to Skegness and back to pick her up and bring her home. So she had to cut her holiday short. So yeah, I need to ring her tomorrow, to be honest with you. It's a mystery prize, Chris. It's a mystery duck race prize. I'm not at liberty to say. I basically haven't picked it out yet. Well done to Lin Lin. Lin Lin, so famous you'd say her name twice. Commentators curse Carboot Keith. Yeah, definitely. Is Lin Lin here? She normally is. Where are you, Lin Lin? Well done to Lin Lin. Oh, Lin Lin's won it 3 times. Lin Lin Jeffries joins the 3-time Champions Club. We've got the Champion of Champions duck race coming up just around Christmas. I'm not sure. I can't remember what date it is that we're doing it. But everybody who's won a duck race this year will be entered into it. Only one time. If you won 3 times, you only get 1 entrance. Everybody who's a winning duck this year will be entered into the Christmas Champion of Champions duck race, a special edition where you will win an amazing duck race prize from Jeff himself, Santa. An amazing prize, plus a hamper of goodies from me and Belle. So whoever wins that is going to get an absolute feast of prizes coming their way. If you want to enter the duck race for next week, all you need to do when tonight's show's finished, just come back to the video of tonight's show and make a comment. The chat that's below us now, you guys all chatting away, that doesn't count as a comment. You've got to come back when the show is over. Like, give it 5 minutes, come back, make a comment. It will be up all the time, forever to watch. And you can make a comment and enter next week's duck race. That's how it works each week. Yeah, where is Lin Lin? Lin says, my race here hasn't begun yet. How have you been off to the toilet or something, Lin? Have you been off making a brew? You've missed the bloody duck race. You've missed your duck winning. Where have you been? Anyway, we're pretty much done for tonight. What should we finish up with Chat G again? We've talked a lot to Chat G tonight, haven't we? Hey, Chat G.
Hey, welcome back again. Always happy to chat. Let me know what's on your mind.
We're coming to the end of our live show. You're live now, talking to a huge audience here on YouTube.
Oh, awesome. Well, hello to everyone tuning in. Hope you're all having a great time. Let's make this wrap up fun. Just let me know what you need and we'll keep it lively.
I think we need to end like we normally do, with a joke. So I'm thinking a joke in the style of Ricky Gervais, all about Vinted and the UK USA connection that's just been started on Vinted. I want a joke about it that's hilariously funny in the style of Ricky Gervais.
All right, let's channel some Mikey Gervais vibes here. So imagine Ricky saying, "Oh, Vinted's going all transatlantic now, right? UK and USA can finally see each other's secondhand jumpers. It's like, here, have our slightly worn out British cardigans and we'll take your vintage flannel shirts. Just don't be surprised if we start arguing over whether it's called a jumper or a sweater, because apparently even our clothes have an identity crisis now." There you go. Hopefully that gives everyone a good laugh to wrap up the show.
Wasn't really that funny, so I wouldn't class it as a joke, more like a ditty.
Fair enough. Let's give it another shot then. How about this? Vinted just linked up the UK and the USA, so now Americans can buy British cast-offs and Brits can get American hand-me-downs. It's basically like a yard sale with a passport. Or as Ricky might say, congrats, you've just unlocked international third store bingo. Just don't fight over who invented the word vintage first. Hopefully that one lands a bit better.
I'll give you one last chance. Let's do a knock-knock and let me answer as well. You know, do the knock-knock thing.
Absolutely. Let's go classic with a knock-knock. So here we go. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Vinted.
Vinted who?
Vinted who? Well, Vinted so far that now you've got a whole new continent's worth of pre-loved goodies. So I guess we can sign a secondhand fashion just got its own transatlantic punchline. Thanks for playing along.
Absolutely useless.